How do you do that every week?
Woody's at his age.
All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Jets Afterburners podcast, the first Jets Afterburners podcast of the new year. It's been a while. I got like one quick video out during the holidays, but other than that, haven't been streaming. Really don't care to talk about this team too much. You know, they're very relevant right now, but here we are. We have to do the show. Luca, you're joining me. How are you doing, man?
First of all, Happy New Year to everybody. I know, Liam, you just said that this is y'all's first stream of the new year, first new content. And I don't think I've even done my content on my channel, maybe like one video during the new year, but regardless, as Jet fans, we're in off-season mode. Some fans are in a pretty dark place, basically like, what's the future look like? It's very grim. Kind of shared our sentiment because I remember, Liam, early on, like in the middle of the season when everybody was chanting Fire Glenn and all that stuff, you were trying to remain the patient approach. Then you finally broke, I think it was like after the Patriot game, which I don't blame you for, but you guys are different. You guys, Let's Talk Jets Radio, I would even say Dom C, what he does, and Gunny of Jet Situation Report are all different and very much similar but different. You guys are similar because you're not pushing out the same mainstream narrative. You got to give this guy a chance. You got to hope for this, that, and the third. And you guys are not afraid to say your opinion when it's the unpopular one, which is that Aaron Glenn should be fired. Even with the candidates out now, he should absolutely be fired. But the Jets are not going to pivot towards a move, stupidly. I know JetCast put out that Rick Spielman supposedly told Woody Johnson to fire Aaron Glenn. I don't know how true that is. So we got to see what goes on with that. Obviously, as I said, nothing's going to change, but it's a very dark place. And it's also a very dark place. Obviously, we'll get into it all with everybody watching the Indiana-Oregon game on Friday. And It was a disaster for Dante Moore. Couldn't have looked worse. Here's the thing, Moore. I'll remark on this real quick and we'll actually get into it. It's not that Moore isn't an NFL quarterback. It's that Moore is a project for the second quarterback. And, boy, we've seen that time and time again. If you're not the first quarterback, sometimes if you're the second quarterback, like a Zach Wilson, or even some people said about Drake May. Hell, he's playing well right now for the Patriots. You look at all these second best quarterbacks, and they turn out to be projects. Mendoza's supposed to be ready coming out of the draft, but right now, Dante Moore's quarterback 2. Ty Simpson's probably quarterback 3. I know Trinidad Chambliss is on the uprise, but he's only trended over the past couple of weeks. It's not like much people knew him over the past couple of months, but regardless, unless you're an Ole Miss fan, of course. But we are standing at the station with the train that passed by us. We are left in the station. We are deserted. We are like in the desert with no water, no food, no shelter. It is either really cold or really hot. And we're just deserted right now because we have no direction. I don't trust the people who run this organization. And that's my opening statement.
Yeah, no, I mean, so there's a lot to unpack in there. And we're going to get to, trust me, we have months to get into the quarterback situation.
Oh, yeah.
And you're right. Just to touch on it quickly, it doesn't look too positive right now. It really doesn't. I wouldn't be opposed to them going for a backup. See, the thing, taking a quarterback at second overall for a project, that's steep. There are so many more polished players, and the Jets have holes everywhere. Right now they literally have nothing. They don't have. They have an offensive line. It looks like the tight end might have something there, but skill position, offense, defense, you could justify almost any position drafting a player at second overall, and it'd be very hard to get it wrong. I wouldn't be opposed to going after a veteran quarterback. I don't like the names that are out there, the Kyler Murrays or the Mills. I don't like those guys. Willis. I'm not into those guys. But if you want to go trade for a Lamar Jackson or a Burrow, one of those names that we discussed, I'm all ears for that. But just touching on Aaron Glenn, I mean, I'm not going to play it like I said to you, like off the air. I'm not going to play the clip, but I could post it in the description. I think I'm going to do that after the show. Of Jake Asman had a very telling interview with Mike Tannenbaum, and let me tell you, Jake asked the questions that's on all of our minds. And with that being said, it was a slap in the face from Mike Tannenbaum. I don't know if he did this in spite of Woody Johnson for firing him years ago. I really don't think so. But he was taking callers too. One of the callers asked him, pretty much point blank asked him, "Did you hire Aaron Glenn because you don't like Woody Johnson?" He didn't say yes or no. He kind of beat it around the bush, gave like the coaches speak. But the main thing that stuck with me is Jake Asman because he knows Mike Tannenbaum is a stats guy. So he gave him every stat, every analytic, gave him every number, and then gave him a million reasons why Aaron Glenn is not a good head coach and should not be brought back. Starting off with Aaron Glenn saying that our goal is to win this season. Mm-hmm. That the New York Jets will be a team that fans will be proud of. Okay. For Mike Tannenbaum to now turn around and say wins and losses didn't matter this season, that is a slap in the face. Wins and losses didn't matter, but they could still raise ticket prices. And then his answer was, we were retaining Aaron Glenn because of the long term. What is best for the long term. Didn't give tangible evidence of what that could be. I don't know what it is. You play football games to win them. And when they won 3 out of those 5, I was on board. I'm like, all right, cool. And if you remember, I came on the show and I was happy for the wins. I didn't want to see my team go 0-17. Looking back, yes, it was probably the best thing for the team. But with that being said, you want to see growth. You want to see progress. And we're not seeing that from Aaron Glenn. I get it, towards the end of the season, maybe they wanted a tank. They wanted to get that draft pick. They knew Justin Fields wasn't the answer. But before that, they were trying to win games, and they just couldn't. So when they found a way to win a couple in a row, not in a row, but a couple throughout the month, I wanted them, and the expectation was for them to build off of that. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't there. But for Mike Tannenbaum to turn around after being the guy that hired Aaron Glenn or persuade Woody Johnson to hire Aaron Glenn, to say wins and losses don't matter, that's a slap in the face. And this whole situation, the way that this whole thing played out, I gave Woody Johnson some credit for being like, hey, listen, I'm not sure I know what I'm doing here. I'm going to hand this off to somebody that does. That guy that does just so happened to used to work for the Jets and got fired. So I was telling Dan about this, and Dan made a good point. He said, that's like asking your ex-girlfriend to find your wife. And that's exactly what it is.
You're not wrong.
So I don't know if this is Tannenbaum trying to get the last laugh. If that is the case, then it's just a bad look, because the 33rd team, you think that they would have more jobs in the future with other teams. There's plenty of openings now, but this might really tarnish the legacy. So just, what are your thoughts on Mike P's comments?
I think he's very disingenuous. You mentioned that he basically tiptoed around the question about whether he has agreements with Woody Johnson. I don't care. You never hire a former fired employee to run a search of any kind. That's just malfeasance of all sorts. The whole thing was a sham. The whole head coaching search was a sham. The whole GM thing was a sham. The fact that Aaron Glenn is currently in his role is basically the face of the organization with the Jets, despite having no head coaching experience, no success, no resume. He was an average defensive coordinator in Detroit, right?
Yep.
The only reason that I could possibly think of that he is the face of this organization, the reason I say that is because he has the power over Muji. He has the personnel say. This isn't like, like the guys we're watching right now, Jim Harbaugh and Mike Vrabel. This is not even Stefanski. This is not even McCarthy. This is not even John Harbaugh. You're talking about an inexperienced guy who is set to run the face of the organization. And let's be honest, I think he bit off more than he could chew. Just with the personnel,
I think so.
with holding a locker room, all these different things. And Liam, you brought up middle of the season, the things like that between the beginning of the season, end of the season. You know what the problem was? You know, people say, well, the Jets were tanking. Okay. They looked exactly the same in the beginning of the season as they did at the end of the season. That's what sticks out to me. There's no improvement. There's no signs of potential. Everything that Mike Tannenbaum basically, what you said, Liam, talking about Tannenbaum basically saying, it's not about wins this year. It's the future. You know what? Here's the thing with that. That's called a hypothetical. You don't know if there's going to be a good future with this team. You don't. You could say, we're going to draft the quarterback of the future in Dante Moore. Who knows if it's going to work out? You could use all these things, but based on prior knowledge, based on what we know now, that's what Jet fans have to do. Take the green-colored glasses off. Stop listening to these content creators who are afraid to give their opinion because they want to work for the New York Jets and be all in these videos and these hype videos and all these different things. Stop listening. Form your own opinion. This is not groupthink. You're allowed to have your own opinion, and please explain why. What we know right now is there's not a lot of hope for the Jets right now. Okay, offensive line is good. Garrett Wilson's still there. Running back, maybe you re-sign Breece Hall. Maybe. Defense, you need a lot of pieces. Your linebackers suck. Your secondary is a work in progress. You have no edge presence. That's what you got to go with right now. Special teams is the only unit that played well this year. And that's obviously credit to Chris Banjo, but you have to watch it sustain from one year to the next. Everything that when people say, you got to hope for next year, you got to hope for next year. No, you don't have to hope for next year. You don't have to have hope for next year. Because realistically, what we saw this year basically gave us no hope for next year. You were hoping to see the smallest of signs. Even going back 4 or 5 years ago with Salah's first year, you saw some glimpses, some. They picked up wins at the end of the season. Remember, Jacksonville, they were playing competitive against Tampa, who made the playoffs. Tom Brady. You go back towards the end of that season, like, okay, you saw a little bit of flashes, but, there's nobody being coached up here. Aaron Glenn, it's funny because Aaron Glenn talked in the media after the season, and he was like, he was going on about his stupid quotes. I forget what he said exactly, but he was like, I have a plan. I want the Jets fans to trust me, this, that, and the third. The only reason he's saying that, somebody brought this up, I don't know who it was. The only reason he's saying that is because there's no games being played tomorrow. Nobody's holding on to him. Nobody's holding him to his word right now. There's no game being played tomorrow. That means he's giving the fans something to ride with over the next 8-9 months, just to basically, hey, sit on this, let this stew for a while.
Yeah, but isn't that? Hold on a second. I'm sorry. Good evening. Good evening, everybody.
Hello, Dan.
But
beautiful sweatshirt. Is that a Christmas gift?
Yes, when they were in the playoffs. So it's been a while. It's a classic, they call it. But that's my issue, right? Like, all right, I got a plan. What is it? Trust me, bro. No, I'm not going to trust you, bro. And this whole Mike Tannenbaum nonsense, we spoke about it offline, right? It's like hiring your ex-girlfriend to choose your next wife. What are you doing? That's so stupid. Obviously, Mike Tannenbaum is going to screw you, Woody Johnson. Now you're on the book. You're on the hook right now to pay this trash of a head coach. I don't care if it's just year one. Everyone gave up. We're going into, and again, how many times do we have to go through this? The Jets missed out on Andy Reid. Andy Reid was going to come here. Okay. Then Sean Payton. He wasn't going to come here. Then who else? Harbaugh. Jim. Now John. This is where Woody Johnson still hasn't had his Leon Hess moment, because the moment John Harbaugh became available by Aaron Glenn, call John Harbaugh. Why would John Harbaugh want to choose the New York Jets? Why? I know why. John, what's your price? We'll give you a 10-year deal. Give you $100 million. Guaranteed. That's a huge incentive. No, John Harbaugh is going to say, nah, I don't want $100 million. No, I'm going to go with the Giants for $25 million. Money talks. Money talks. But you know what? The Jets get what they get. And now, you know what the beautiful thing of this whole role playing is going to be? Us Jet fans, for the next 4 months, we're going to be enamored on YouTube and watching these highlights of Dante Moore, this unproven guy, super raw, Zach Wilson-esque rawness. Oh, he's so good. Wow, the long ball. He's great. Oh, you know what? He might be better than Fernando Mendoza. Yeah, that's it. That's it. He's better than Fernando Mendoza. This is March talk of a Jet fan, watching all of the games. Then all of a sudden, with the number 2 overall pick, the New York Jets select Dante Moore. Oh, going to get the Moore jerseys. We have no coaches, fellas. We have no coaches. Drake London, running backs coach, is teaching the quarterback how to 5-step drop. That's what we're doing. We're looking at what? A wide receiver coach. I forgot what team it is. You sent it to me, Liam. And we're looking at him as
Vikings.
a defensive Vikings, even better.
He's the passing game coordinator of the Vikings.
Thumbs up, New York Jets. Hey, Woody Johnson, wake up. Your head
There was
coach doesn't get it.
There was another quote from that I found very telling. Mike Tannenbaum said, I don't know who he said it to earlier in the offseason, that if the Jets in December would be able to beat the Jets in September, that'd be progress. That week 1 Jets, where Justin Fields is flying around, doing the plane, looking good, having Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers up against the ropes. Mm-hmm. That team that we saw where Brady Cook ran out week 17 against Buffalo, they could not beat the week 1 Jets. No way. No way. So it's just like, when is this propaganda going to stop? And that's what it is, fellas. It's propaganda. It's fake. Every single where there's certain like head coach firings, you can kind of like, I saw like with the Dolphins, every now and then I'll go on Twitter, I'll hit Dolphins and I'll see like what their fans are talking about. Some fans are happy that McDaniel is gone. Some fans wanted to retain him. That would be somewhat okay with me, where it's like a mixed bag, because that shows, all right, like some people see the vision. Not a single person believes in Aaron Glenn. Nobody. Not a single fan. The only way to stop this, you have to stop going to games. You have to get rid of the season tickets. And a lot of people say, oh, well, I do it for like my father that passed away. I used to go with my uncle and my grandfather, and they're long. I do it to honor them. It's a family tradition. Would they want to sit through this at MetLife? No.
Honor them. Exactly.
On top of raising ticket prices every single year. They haven't won. They haven't had a winning season in a decade. And Woody Johnson is like, oh, I don't think he's okay with it personally.
No, you don't, Johnny. No, you don't.
No, yeah, you don't.
I'm sorry. Can I add something real quick? Dan, you brought up a great point. Everybody's talking about, oh, why would Harbaugh want to come here? Why would McCarthy want to come here? Can someone please explain to me with sense, and I mean like so seriously, mano a mano or whoever, what possibly could be worse about this Jets team as opposed to the past 15 years? What possibly has gotten worse over the past 15 years that's all of a sudden this is like the worst job in the league? I don't think it is. You look at the Raiders, okay, they have the first overall pick, but that's probably it. They have some weapons. They have Brock Bowers. They have Jack Betch. They have Ashton Jenney, but no offensive line. Look at the Browns. You obviously see what Shadur's about, but ownership can somewhat be meddling. Like, here's another thing, too, right? If we're so-called looking for a defensive coordinator, why are we not looking at Jim Schwartz? Jim Schwartz literally just recently interviewed for the Cleveland Browns head coaching opening job. Why not Jim Schwartz? Why not I'm sorry, the Broncos haven't played yet, so you'd have to request an interview first. Jim Leonard, Jim Schwartz, Jim Leonard, Wink Martindale, who's right now on the free agent market, excuse me, because his head coach, Sharon Moore, was a malcontent. We keep it nice, malcontent. But you have those 3 candidates. I don't know if I could be wrong. Maybe there's a defensive coach that I'm not thinking about that has gotten fired. Maybe Raheem Morris is an option. We're sitting interviewing a passing game coordinator for the Vikings. Another first-time coordinator. But Dan, you brought up the idea of developing a quarterback, right? You talked about Charles London being the quarterback's coach, never developing a quarterback, or at least developing a good quarterback. Because Geno Smith had his worst years under Charles London in Seattle. Will Levis was supposedly working with Charles London in Tennessee, right? So you have that. So it's like we're gonna go into next year with the same dumbass offensive coaching staff. Excuse my language. But here's the thing: people are like, bring in an offensive assistant, I don't know whether it's Monken or whoever. First of all, if you're hiring like a veteran offensive assistant, isn't it moot to just give him the assistant role and just not just hire them as the regular offensive coordinator? Like, why tell Todd Monken, hey, I'm going to hire you as the offensive assistant?
But that's what I'm saying. Like that exactly. Like, look at Engstrand for what. How does he merit a second year? Now let's focus on. All right, the Jets are going to draft a young quarterback, whether it's the first round or the second round. The Jets are going to draft a quarterback. Tell me if this doesn't sound good, because as of right now, they have garbage developing. No idea. You're trying to develop a franchise quarterback, but with Drake London and Engstrand, those two are jokes. And then a passing game coordinator. Get me Cliff Kingsbury as an offensive coordinator.
Yes.
And you know what? Call up Mike McDaniels. Call him up and be like, yo, listen, if you don't get a deal with anyone, we'll make you the highest paid quarterback coach. Highest paid. Now, Aaron Glenn would have no excuse. At that point, it would be kind of giving him a mulligan to say, you know what, as a Jet fan, I'm going to play devil's advocate at this point. He saw that the team just sucked. The coaching, everything. He took accountability, and he went and got the best. He's going into the 2026 season with Mike McDaniels as a quarterback coach, OC Cliff Kingsbury, and Wink Martindale as a defensive coordinator, or Schwartz or whatever, surrounding himself with a veteran presence of coaches that have been there, done that. No, we're not going to go that route, guys. We're not. This is a repeat of Salah's first year with a first-year OC. Yeah, he's going into the second year. Oh, Engstrand is trash. I'm sorry. One more thing. Look at what the Detroit Lions did. Look at what they did with their offensive coordinator. 1 year. Gone. He's gone.
They're a serious organization.
Yes.
Weren't they?
You know who's also available at OC? Brian Dable.
Yep. Hey,
Bring
Dan,
him in
you know.
as well.
You know. And not only that, not only are we not bringing in other prominent coaches, we're bringing in coaches that don't even have experience on that side of the ball. Like, at what point, like we have talked about, like the NFL, like possibly stepping in. At what point does the NFL step in and be like, what are you guys doing? I'm telling you, the only way to fix this is we have to stop lining these guys' pockets. We have to. It's beyond pathetic at this point.
Here's the problem with that, Liam. I agree with you 100%. There's obviously going to be a lot of fanboys and goobers out there, but you also got to think there's going to be a lot of opposing fans heading into that stadium. They'll travel, but Johnny Boy brings up Matt LaFleur. Okay, Matt LaFleur, if he gets fired, is going to get a job elsewhere. Let's call it what it is. He's either going to get a job in Baltimore, if he gets fired. Baltimore, Cleveland, and the Giants will call his name instantly. We should be calling his name if he gets fired.
Teams have interest to hire him as head coach. Apparently, he's going to have some head coaching opportunities, from what I'm hearing.
See, that's what I don't understand.
But don't worry. But he was no good for us. No good.
But that's so the Dolphins right
now. Bring in
Nate
Hackett. I'm sorry, Dan. Bring in Nate Hackett.
But that's the nonsense. So the Dolphins at the season's end, they almost guaranteed McDaniels coming back, right? And then what? They thought about it. Hey, you know what? You're gone. No talk about the Dolphins not being a serious organization, that they're really not people of their words. The Jets do it. Oh, well, who wants to coach for the Jets, especially after the season? He comes out and then they start interviewing possible coordinators, and then they let him go. Woody just has to swallow it and say, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm not going to go nowhere near a playoff appearance next year with this fraud. He's not a head coach, guys. Great player. But this is what's interesting. You hire a defensive back coach whose forte is defense, and you put him as a head coach, and for the first time in NFL history, you don't record not even one interception. You're a joke, Aaron Glenn. You're a joke, Woody Johnson. You're a joke. Great player. Aaron Glenn, you're an outstanding Jets player. As a head coach, you suck.
And not only that, we're not even going to be competitive in our own division. We're not. We have Buffalo with McDermott. I don't think he's getting fired now, but some people are saying that if he had lost today, they might move on from him. They're not moving on from him. What an awesome game, by the way, today. I mean, I hate to give the Bills credit, but like Josh Allen, he's a warrior, man. You got to give it to him. And then in New England, they got Vrabel. The Dolphins, they'll get it right. A lot of people are saying Harbaugh might go there. And then that leaves us. Our coach isn't even on the same stratosphere as these guys. We're not going to be competitive in our own division. I don't know, man. Like, what do you want us to say? This is as bad as it gets. This is a new low, a new rock bottom. It doesn't get any worse. It really doesn't.
You're right, it doesn't. We're going to be sitting here next year, most likely sitting at the same train station with the train long departed. We're going to be sitting in the same desert we're starving and thirsty with nobody even to. We're going to be. I don't know how many euphemisms I could come up with. We're going to be.
I got one for you.
We're going to be sitting in the water, out to sea, stranded, with nobody to throw us a lifeboat, Liam.
This is like when you drive to the train station and you're on the platform, but you're looking at your car. That's pretty much what it is. Like the train is going by and you're just staring at your car, thinking, "Oh, well, that will get us there."
No, this is worse than that. This is the same analogy, but instead of looking at the car, you're on the railroad looking at the train about to destroy you. And then you get up and you say, it can't get any worse, and 9 more come. It cannot stop. And this is a dark horse thought perspective. I honestly think Woody Johnson hears this shit. He hears it. He knows it. Remember the whole airplane thing, fire Idzik, whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, it got to him. It did. I think New York Jet fans, especially Jake Asman, has been really knocking it out of the park. Be hard on the Jets. Just continue to pound it. ESPN, radio, whatever the case is, make it loud. Fans call in and say it. Keep saying it. This is an atrocity to bring Aaron Glenn back. No one in their right frame of mind thinks that the Jets can win more than 3 games next year. Now, fast forward to 2027. We're looking for a new coach. We're looking for culture. We're looking for this atmosphere here. And the Colts are going to be bad, guys. They're going to be horrendous. I wouldn't be surprised if the race for the first overall pick is going to be between the Colts and the Jets. And guess what? The Jets own the Colts first round overall. Now, Arch Manning, my guy comes out. My guy. Do you think for a second he wants to come into this? No. But if the Jets can cut their losses right now, and Matt LaFleur becomes available, and the Jets are somewhat competitive, and they can showcase to these future college quarterbacks, say, you know what, if you come in here, we got everything established. We're going to be entering year 2. Arch Manning will not waive it. He's not going to be like, I don't want to go there. He's going to be, all right, you know what? What do you think, Granddad Arch? I think you got a really good possibility and some opportunity to make something really legit happen there in New York. They finally got it right. They saw something wrong, and they got rid of that nastiness that was there with Aaron Glenn. They got Matt LaFleur there. They got Mike McDaniels there. They got something good going. They won 8 games. They won 8 games with like Mac Jones and Ty Simpson. I think you might be good going there. And they have a really good GM who's smart, who whispers into Woody's ear. Got to get rid of Aaron Glenn. Arch, if I were you, I'd sign. Don't do what Eli did, because right now you're good. But if this shit show occurs again, Arch ain't coming here. He ain't coming here.
Nobody's coming here. Free agents aren't coming here. Nobody's going to want to get drafted here.
I'm gonna say this. It's totally probable that the Jets don't draft a quarterback in the first round this year. It's probable because you think about it, right? Like there's gonna be a lot of mid-round quarterbacks available. Like Simpson and Mendoza are gonna be first-round picks. We don't know if Moore's coming out. That's TBD. Next year, you could have possibly Dante Moore if he doesn't come out. Mateer.
Right.
You could have Arch Manning.
Sellers.
There's probably 2 more quarterbacks I'm not thinking of. What's his name? Raiola? He could be coming out saying.
Same thing.
But I don't want this regime to draft a quarterback and have the task of developing him. That's the problem.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I don't trust this. Well, don't worry. We'll have like a safeties coach develop this quarterback. Don't worry. This is as pathetic as it gets. It really is.
Bad as it gets.
And there's never been such a time, at least that I could remember in recent history. Dan, maybe you could think of another time, but I can't think of really another time where there's been so many prominent head coaches available right now. And every single coach would be an improvement over what we have right now. And then, like you had mentioned before, LaFleur might be getting fired. I would take him in a heartbeat.
What's going on here? What's going on? Like, it's a no-brainer. The Jets went all out last year to land Mike Vrabel. They did everything.
And we gave him credit. And we said that if he doesn't want to come here, at least they made the call.
They've made no calls. McCarthy would be an upgrade. And who are these Jet fans on Twitter criticizing Ben Johnson yesterday and criticizing the Giants the other day? Like, I'm not gonna say it's all Jet fans. It's like a very small-minded. It's the coping fans that'll stick by Aaron Glenn no matter what he says. But it's like these coping Jet fans, like, oh, Mike McCarthy this, Kevin Stefanski that, Mike McDaniel this, John Harbaugh that. I'm like, bro, what are y'all talking about? We have Aaron Glenn as head coach. We need to walk before we can run. We need to crawl before we can walk. Like, again, I'm not even a big Tomlin fan. I don't think unless he gets ejected from the first round, tomorrow and gets fired. Like, as I said, I'm not a huge fan of him. But like, you look at all these, that's a possible idea. But you look at all these different candidates, and not one the Jets are in on. Let's look at the vacancies: the Raiders, the Browns, the Giants, the Titans, the Falcons, the Dolphins, the Ravens. That's 7 head coach. I'm probably missing another. I'm missing another vacancy. Yeah,
I don't know, but I believe there was 7. I could be wrong. I believe that there was 7 before
the Dolphins
Harbs got fired.
I'm gonna say, Cardinals. I missed that one. That's 8 of 32 teams. That's a fourth of the league having new coaches. It could potentially be 9. But once again, the Jets are not making those calls because they feel self-satisfied. And what's funny? I don't know if you guys know this. I think this was Person Media or somebody else. My brother told this to me. Supposedly, Woody Johnson was so pissed off about the last 3 games of the season.
But he believes in the long-term plan.
Okay, well, yes, but it wasn't that. He didn't punish anybody, didn't fire anybody. He decided he wasn't going to the last 3 games. That was his punishment.
I want to pull something up here.
Respect to Dom C.
I'm looking at Tankathon right now. And I think we all know the draft order as it currently sits. But just for argument's sake, I'm going to read it off real quick. Vegas 1, Jets, Cardinals, Titans, Giants, Cleveland. That's the top 6 right there. So let's see what's going on. So the Vegas Raiders fired their head coach. The Arizona Cardinals fired their head coach. Tennessee, their head coach. Giants, their head coach. Cleveland, their head coach.
That's right.
So there's 5 out of 6 in the top 6 that fired their head coach. There's one team that didn't. Can you guess?
Dumbass Jets. Dumbass Jets. Dumbass Jets, man.
I don't get it.
You know,
I
that,
want to know what this vision is that they see. Like, what is this long? Because so if it's not about wins and losses, what is it about? You don't have a quarterback that you're grooming that said, okay, I could understand if they didn't win a lot of games. Like somebody like Cam Ward didn't have a great season, played hard towards the end of the year, and next year he's going to take that second year leap. There's not even that. We had an undrafted free agent quarterback for the last 5 weeks of the season. I don't understand. There's nothing tangible besides wins and losses that justify bringing this coach back. There's no long-term. Like, I want to know what the goal is. I want to know what this vision is. Tannenbaum would not say what it is. It's just we trust our process.
He's a fraud. I'm sorry. He's a fraud. Mike Tannenbaum is a fraud. All these, the 33rd team, all this nonsense. You don't need a firm to go and hire John Harbaugh. You don't need it to hire LaFleur. You don't need that nonsense. When you see a viable candidate, you go balls in. Everything. You put everything inside. Everything. You don't half dick it. You do what you got to do. Sorry, I'm on a different level tonight because it really pisses me off because now you're looking at the draft and you see a team like the Pats just in 1 year, floop, they change it. Why not the Jets? Oh, because they're the Jets. Nah, BS. I call it full BS with that. If you have the right coaching staff in here, the Jets could be an easy 8 to 9 win team in 2026. How do you figure? Well, second overall, you get that kid Bain from the Hurricanes. Your second first rounder, you get Lemon. And you got 2 second rounders. Get Drew Alar or whatever. That you want to make a project, get him in the second round. Don't make him in the second overall pick. You start building up your team. You got $90 million in freaking cap space. You can build a nice team. You could. But it doesn't matter how many pieces you bring in. It doesn't matter. When you have the ineptitude of the New York Jets coaching staff right now, you could have Joe Montana, Michael Irvin, Barry Sanders, the late Reggie White, Ronnie Lott in the back, Eric Allen, if you want. You know what? You could bring in an Eagle. That's fine. And leave the kick returner. That's the only good thing that we have, Isaiah Williams. You'll still win 3 games because the coaches need to put their players in the best position to succeed. Aaron Glenn doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. He break dances. We're down 21-7, fellas. 21-7 against the Miami Dolphins here at home. And all of a sudden, the guy starts jumping up and down. Block field goal against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he becomes a meme. Your defense didn't stop Baker all freaking game.
And the Bucs were giving you that game too. Remember all their penalties? They were giving you that game.
There you go. There you go. I'll take him in the 4th, Johnny boy. I'll take Drew Alar in the 4th. That's fine. No problem. There's no need to take a quarterback right now because they're projects. Beside Fernando Mendoza, every quarterback here is a project. Had we had the intelligence, the smartness of a coordinator, quarterback coach, passing game coordinator, yes, we'll bring on a project. We'll do what we need to do. We'll trade for Mac Jones. He'll start whatever. We'll shelf this rookie quarterback. That's not going to happen with Dante Moore, fellas, because the Jet fans, like I am, because I'm a psycho like this, because I'm going to talk a talk right now. Just follow me. Right now, I'm saying if you draft Dante Moore, you got to let him sit. Let him sit till week 6, week 7. I see you. You're nodding your head. Exactly, Luca. 100%. Guess what happens week 3 of the preseason? Assholes like me are going to say, start him. Start him. You picked him 2nd overall. You got to start him. And not only me, 90% of the Jet fans are going to say, start him. And
We got to see what we got in this kid.
Woody Johnson's going to say, you know what? This is what the crowd of Rome wants. Have at it. And here's Geno Smith 2.0, Zach Wilson 2.0, Sam Darnold, and the list goes on and on. And guess what? Another failure. And guess what? Now we got Dante Moore in 2027 with a new head coach, new offensive coordinator. Keep on ruining the guy. Keep on ruining the guy. But I will say this. Let's say we get Dante Moore 2nd overall, and the Colts select 1st overall in 2027. I'm getting myself another quarterback. Sorry. Get myself another quarterback until I get it right.
And I was saying earlier, I think before you even hopped on, that I don't trust this organization to develop this quarterback. So I'd want to go trade for one, whatever the situation is. But if you look around the league, like other teams that need quarterbacks, you look at the Cardinals probably need a quarterback. The Dolphins might want to be moving on. Like, so you see all these other teams. Where would like Joe Burrow rather go? Where would Lamar Jackson rather, where would Kyler Murray rather go? Marcus Mariota, like the name goes on, and I don't like the names that are out there that are going to be free agents. I would much rather trade for a quarterback like we've been talking about for the last couple of months. But if other teams are interested, nobody is coming here. Nobody is saving us under this head coach. Nobody wants that stench attached to them. Look at Quinnen Williams. He was having a down year. Remember, fellas, he was having a down year. Goes to Dallas, he's an all-pro. It's not the players. It's the Jets. And a lot of people are upset with Stephen A. said. Not me. Where was he wrong? But Stephen A. is not a Jet fan. He can't talk about the Jets like that. I want this, and I know this doesn't sound like much of a fan. I'm going to go on record right here and say it. Currently, I want this team under Aaron Glenn to be as embarrassed as possible. I don't want him coming back next year. It's not too late. Harbaugh's not taking interviews until next week. Something could come out of left field. Woody Johnson is reactionary. The one thing he does not like is that bad press. And what more what more Woody Johnson than to make this big move, back in the headlines positively. I don't know. I don't have much faith in him to do it. But we just have to be loud. I mean, I really think that's what it comes down to. We just have to be loud. I don't know. What do you think? You have your hand up.
I'm going to answer this one real quick before you go. Whoever thinks that Mendoza has a 4th round grade is not being professional. Is just not, has not seen him play and didn't see him play Friday night. This is ridiculous. And not for nothing. If the Jets have any shot of trading up, this is the only way how this trade might have to happen. Because can we agree here that the Raiders, probably 95%, they're not going to trade it because they're all in on Mendoza, right?
100%. Yep.
I'm going to give you the 5%. You trade this year's first, this year's 2nd first rounder, next year's Colts first rounder. Even at that point, they'll say no. Throw in Garrett Wilson. Oh, not Garrett Wilson. Oh, not him. He's our Jerry Rice. Me? I do it right now. Drop of a hat. Immediately.
Well, here's the thing. And here's the thing with that, though. Are we trading him? Are we trading all those picks with this head coach?
Whatever the case is, I'm going to tell you. And that's a great question.
Your answer to this matters.
Great question. I answer it the same way like with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, it took him a little bit of time, right? It took him a little bit of time. Right now, I'd rather have the quarterback in place and have a new head coach in 2027, and that'll entice the future head coach to say, you know what, at least they got a quarter. Like at that point, we could use the argument, like how they have been using it against us. Why would Jim Harbaugh want to come here? He'd rather go to the Chargers because, you know, he got a freaking quarterback. Why would Liam Cohen want to come to the Jets? He'd rather go to the Jaguars. They got a quarterback over there. Well, you know what? If we got our quarterback, we're good.
Okay.
At least look at the Raiders. If you give the Raiders all of that, they start thinking logically. What are the chances that the Jets are going to win many games in 2026? We have a shot at getting Arch Manning.
The only reason that I would be against, especially throwing in Garrett and against what you said, now it's very enticing. I could warm up to that, and you could definitely sell me on that. But what are we surrounding our quarterback with after that?
So keep in mind, and I hear this a lot. Remember, if we draft Fernando Mendoza, it's not like it's the 2026 season and then he retires after 2026. It's going to take time. It's going to take some
Jordan
time.
Travis did.
Jordan Travis. No, that poor guy he's carrying his leg over his shoulder still.
But before you continue, I just wanted to mention that we are at 100 views right now. We support wherever you guys are watching. YouTube is the best place to support us. If you are on Twitter and just watching us, we definitely appreciate that as well. But if you guys could hop over to YouTube and get those views up, that is the best way to support us. But wherever you're watching, thank you guys for watching.
Hit that subscribe button for sure.
Yes.
That's my whole thing is you surround your young quarterback with the salary cap that you have, with draft picks that you will accumulate sooner or later. Okay. Look, the Rams did it. The Rams won a Super Bowl, traded away all their first rounders, whatever the case is. They found ways how to build around, what they had. My big thing is the coaching. That's what my big thing is. The first card that has to fall is you need a franchise quarterback. The Jets have not had that ever since Joe Namath. That's it. No more. Sam wasn't. Mark wasn't. Ken O'Brien wasn't. Richard Todd wasn't. We're talking about since
Pennington wasn't.
Pennington wasn't. We're talking about since man landed on the moon, supposedly, or somewhere in Arizona. That's the last time that the Jets had a franchise quarterback. You're telling me that all it would take would be Garrett Wilson? And that would be an uproar with the Jet fans? Like, oh, no, not our receiver, not number 5. Nope. Screw that.
Well, Dan, I got a number 5 jersey for Christmas. What am I going to do with that? Do I have to put it next to the Zach Wilson jersey, the Sam Darnold jersey, and the Jamal Adams jersey?
Yes.
I can't put it with the Reedus and Mangle jersey, though, in the Corvette
jersey.
What
I do with my old jerseys, I cut the letters out. And I glue it on the back of the jerseys with the new guys on there.
Yeah, I just have like random letters at this point. I have the D for Darnold and then like the M for Adams. It's just like it's everywhere.
I was going to add something real quick. You guys obviously were doing your thing while I had to take a quick call. I know Johnny Boy was mentioning something, about how basically, Aaron Glenn was trying to get the stink out of the Jets organization, basically what Devontae Adams said in that little commercial, that little run promo ad. Here's the thing, right? Dan was talking about this too just a little bit. Going into the season, would you say the Jets and Jaguars had similar rosters? I would say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that the Jaguars coached the hell out of their roster as opposed to the Jets. But as we Jet fans, we think it takes 10,000 years to rebuild. We didn't have the quarterback. Well, who's the one who signed Justin Fields? Wasn't us.
The Bears.
It was Aaron Glenn and Darren Mucci who signed Justin Fields. They made the decision on the quarterback. They didn't draft a guy in the middle rounds. They didn't sign a prominent free agent or whoever the hell. But that's So they put themselves in their own boat here. And it's going to be a conundrum this year. It's going to be a very, very serious conundrum this year with the quarterback class. I'm not confident, as I said earlier, with the coaches on our staff, unless Aaron Glenn has like a does a complete 180. Says, you know what? I got to fire my staff. I'm going to bring in Brian Dable. I'm going to bring in Cliff Kingsbury to do whatever. And then we're going to draft this quarterback and we're going to make him succeed. But that's not going to happen. That's just not reality, unfortunately. And, you can wish upon any star you want. You can do 7 Hail Marys. That's not happening. I'm sorry. That's the truth. But again, I'm just tired of these Jet fans coming out here and saying, oh, well, it's not about this year. It takes a certain amount of years. Brother, look at what the Patriots are doing. Look what the Jags are doing. They're flipping. And I'm tired of hearing the phrase, oh, well, Aaron Glenn needs his guys. Okay, what happens this offseason if Alex Anzalone doesn't sign with the Jets, huh? The Jets need linebackers. Alex Anzalone would be a fit. What happens if the Jets don't sign Anzalone? What if Anzalone says, let me go somewhere, I don't know, like the Giants?
Mm-hmm.
Does he need his guys? Did Liam Cohen need his guys? Did Mike Vrabel need his guys?
Mm-hmm.
Did Ben Johnson in Detroit need his guys? I'm sorry, not Detroit, Chicago. Did Ben Johnson Detroit? Did Ben Johnson in Chicago need his guys? The answer is no. He made of what he worked with. Yes, obviously you had free agents.
Yeah, you develop the guys you have. What a concept. What a concept.
It is a concept.
It has to get through Woody Johnson's head. It has to. Sooner or later,
what if it doesn't, though, Dan?
Most likely it's not going to, but that's why all of us, it takes everyone, even this lum nut, even the son there, Brick, he is on social media. If you're telling me that he's not embarrassed to go into Jets Drive and talk to good old Dad. Dad, this is really, really bad, man. This is horrendous. They are making fun of you. They're making fun of the Jets. We're not respected. John Harbaugh is out there. We're not going to do anything with Aaron Glenn. Son, trust me. You know what? I want to disown you as a dad. That's probably how this goes. It's so bad. Nobody wants to put the pressure on Woody Johnson, but that's the fans. Stop going to these games. Stop. And if you want to do it in honor of dad and mom and whatever, honor them by not going. Screw them. They don't care about us.
This is the lowest. Sorry, Dan. This is the lowest era of Jets football in history. Your late relatives would not want to be a part of this.
I got a quick thing real quick. We talked about going to the stadium, right? And Vinny brings up a good point because I think it all molds together. If you're a fan, you have season tickets, you want to go to the game next year, what's the Jets marketing tool for bringing you to the stadium next year? Somebody tell me. What's the marketing tool? Is there a player that you really want to see besides like Garrett Wilson? Is there like a really good coach or something? Like, what is the marketing tool for this organization right now? Right now, as it stands, nobody's getting fired. Everybody's coming back next year. We may or may not draft a quarterback. We're in this circle again. As a season ticket holder or as a fan, let's just say you're coming from where you guys are. Dan, you're in Queens, Liam in Long Island. You have to ride the Bell Parkway, head on to the tolls of the Verrazano Bridge. That's money right there. Heading to Jersey, that's tolls. Heading to MetLife Stadium, oh, well, you got to pay for parking. Oh, the Jets, remember what they tried earlier in the season when, the whole tailgate nonsense? Yeah, be on the watch out for New Jersey State Patrol. You want to head into the stadium? Obviously, you got to pay tickets. You want to go into the stadium, you want to buy beer, you got to pay like $14, $15. It's money coming out of your pocket with zero return on your investment.
Trust me, bro. Trust me.
I had to wear this Jeff Lageman jersey. Do you guys know Jeff Lageman? He was an overrated Jets pass rusher. Overrated. This is way worse than 96. You see, 96, we sucked. And our big high-profile splash in order to get fans in was Neil O'Donnell. That was the big splash here. This is way worse than 1996 because we don't have Stugotz, not the anchor from ESPN. No, this is straight up Italian. Nothing in the bag. Nothing. To your point, Luca, what do we have? What, Dante Moore? That's what we're going to show? Dante Moore? The guy's not first game off the bat, the poor kid's going to have 4 interceptions. Bank it. Because if he played that bad in front of a national crowd, he shit the bed, guys. He shit the bed. He is going to be horrendous with the New York Jets because no one, what's Aaron Glenn going to do? Put his arm over his shoulder like Brees. It's all right, man. You're young. You got a long way to go. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Not here. No, I booed him. And I didn't even know who he was.
Yeah.
It was just in me. Can't stand the guy.
Well, there's only one thing we can do, and that's try to force some change. Otherwise, don't go. Let MetLife be filled with opposing fans at this. I really don't care at this point. I really don't. They don't care. Between Tannenbaum slapping us in the face, Woody Johnson turning around slapping us in the face, when we all know, and everyone says, "Oh, the fans always think they know better," because we do.
Yes,
we do know better. We're the ones that sit through this each and every year. Players come and go, coaches come and go. The season ticket holders, they're the ones sitting in, the 200s watching this, sitting out in the rain, paying again, Luca, like you said, paying all that money to get there. It's a full day affair. You're not doing anything after you get home from MetLife. It's a full day affair, and it's like, when is enough? Like I'm really at my wit's end with this team. I'm gonna watch them, but like, you can't wear your Jet stuff in public. I wore a Jets hoodie to the store today. I was like getting made fun of by workers.
I wear like my Carhartt jersey, like my pullover. I put it over my Jets hoodie.
You have to.
Very embarrassing. Very. It sucks, man. You see all these playoff games; they're all competitive. It's a chess match. The Jets don't have that. They don't have that, man. It's a Mickey Mouse kind of team. They were getting blown out by, I even forgot who we played against anymore, man. Like I just, the last 2 or 3 games of the season, first time I've ever done this, couldn't care less. I was watching other teams hoping that they would win so that the Jets would be bumped up. But guess what? Those culture winning games that we won against the Browns, the Bengals, and the Falcons, man, they maintained our culture. They maintained it. That didn't do anything. It didn't do crap. Nothing. What is that? What does that do?
And I was one of the supporters. You know that.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. Dan, you and I, we have given this coach every chance. We've given him longer than many others have. And I bought into it. Let's trust this. Let's ride it out. Nobody thought it was going to be this bad.
Nobody. Like, yeah, exactly. You know what? Welcome aboard, Eric. Definitely just hit that subscribe button. I believe he is a Browns fan. And again, Browns, freaking smart organization. As much as I love Stefanski, they're like, you know what? Maybe there's a better option out there. New York Jets? Oh, yeah, there's tons of better options. But this guy whispered in my ear that he's got a plan. A plan to what? To remain cellar dwellers? What? It's embarrassing. Woody Johnson, you should be embarrassed. Tomorrow, do it.
Just do it, man.
Shock the world, man. There's so much great candidates.
I would be so back in.
Everyone. Like, if the Jets would hire Mike McDaniels as head coach, I would be more ecstatic than keeping Aaron Glenn. I'll be straight up. Like, name me something where I could say, you know what, we were better off with Aaron Glenn than Mike McDaniels. No way. I'd still be happy. Be like, all right, at least we got this out of the way. He noticed that it was a complete failure. He's gone.
Yep. But until they do, we are stuck with this moron. But I think we're just going to get ready to wrap it up here. Does anybody have closing thoughts?
I said
No.
I mean,
There's really nothing else to say. I mean, this is how bad it is. It's like, what is there to talk about?
That's the thing. The Jets can build. Like, I think on a positive scale, I think the Jets got it right with the GM. I got to be honest. I think Mooj has done some good work here, finding diamonds in the rough, trading for like Phillips and whatnot, Briggs, garnering us like 3 first-rounders, an extra second-rounder for Sauce and Quinnen. I think he's good. I think he's on the right trajectory. But you can't pair him up with a horrible head coach. And you got all of these ex-players vouching. Obviously, they don't want to lose a friend. They're not going to go on social media. Friggin' Rob Carpenter, wide receiver 10.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Biggest Aaron Glenn Jets propagandist there is.
Oh, my God.
I don't care.
No, the worst. He can do no wrong. Aaron Glenn can go 0-17. That's my boy. It's Woody Johnson's fault. All of a sudden. Aaron Glenn, by far, he surpassed Rich Kotite.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 100%. He surpassed him. This is how bad it is. I remember 95. I remember 96. It was brutal. It was brutal.
That was a 2-year stretch.
This eclipsed it, guys. What we just saw, they caved. They caved in. Well, with that being said, guys, listen, thank you so much for hopping on. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And it would definitely mean the world to us. So, Liam, do you have any parting thoughts?
We have to just continue to be loud on social media, and for the better of this team. I know it hurts some of you guys because I was in that boat. I was in school. I was a teenager during the Rex, the post Rex years. You have to be loud. You have to let this team get embarrassed. It is what it is at this point. It's like for the betterment of this team, because we all know Aaron Glenn is not the answer. We have to be loud on social media. Be loud wherever you can. Get this guy the hell out. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that. Get this guy the hell out. And I promise you, better days will be ahead.
Without a doubt. Guys, have a good night. Luca, thank you for hopping on, man.
Of course.
Let's go. Mike LaFleur, our head coach next week. Maybe.
Count me in.
Count me in. I'm in. Good night.
Quarterback, Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Just 14 that first time, now going long. They got a wide open man, and he makes the catch. It's Braylon Edwards taking off. Braylon Edwards will take it home for the touchdown. 80.
First down in San Diego territory at the 47-yard line. Big draw. And Pennington going for 6. Deep down the field, and it's caught by Santana Moss.